Hello, first hour. Turns out I'm not here today, so this is what you get to watch. This lesson is similar, very similar, to the f times of equals is lesson, where we had the fraction times the of equals the is, and where p in this case is percent, and that the percent and the is have to represent the same item. Of is the total, or any of those other key ideas: beginning number, original number, starting number, first event in time, second event, and then is our result or our part, or the second event in time. Okay? So it's the same. In order to set this up, it's the same process. We are going to add diagramming these as part of the expectation. So that will be added, and that'll be a little different for you, but it can really help you to determine where to put things. So let's get into this. Sales tax is 5% in Maryland. Joey bought a pair of basketball shoes advertised for $62. How much sales tax did he pay? We're given a percent, 5%, so I have 5% of the original amount or total, which is this, $62. And that's going to equal the sales tax. And I'm just going to put T for tax. 5% represents the tax, and we're looking for the sales tax. So change your 5% to 0.05 or 5/100 times $62, and that'll give you your tax. Doing that on the calculator, 62 times 5/100 is $3.10 is the sales tax. This particular problem doesn't ask what the total cost is. It just wants to know how much sales tax did he pay. Okay. That's a pretty basic problem. Here, the big baby weighed 15 pounds. Mama weighed him a week later, and he weighed 18 pounds. Mama could not believe it, a 3% increase. Mama wondered, what percent increase is this? We know we're looking for a percent, so we what P times of equals what? The percent that we're looking for is the increase. Okay. Do we know how much the baby increased? Yes. It's a 3 pound increase. So since we're looking for what percent increase here, in this location here, then we need the increased value. The increased value is not 15, it's not 18, those are actual weights. The increased part is 3, so 3 pounds. So the 3 goes opposite because that's the increased value. The number that we're going to put in our of, remember, is the first event in time. Or it's the starting number, it's the beginning number. What was his beginning weight in comparison to this in this situation? It would have to be 15. He has to be 15 pounds before he can be 18. So at 15 pounds is the beginning amount, or the first event in time. We solve for this variable, or WP, by dividing both sides by 15. It needs to be in a percent form, so you're going to take the 3 divided by 15 on your calculator, and that gives me 0.2 or 2/10, and we change that to the percent value of 20%. Okay. So make sure, again, this is the important part here, lining up whatever the percent value is has to be matched up with the number that represents that same idea. And then the total, the beginning number, first event in time, whatever idea you're thinking of, has to be in the of spot. Okay. Now we're going to look at how to diagram these particular problems. This first box just represents 600 and 100% of itself. I mean, 600 out of 600 is 100%. That's the before. The after, on the right here, has some missing parts. We know that the total of the two items has to be 600. So if we know then that this part is 180, I can find B by taking the total of 600 minus 180. That will give me, doing the math on the board this time, 420. So B is 420. I know those two have to be equal to 600. How do I find A? A is a percent value. The total percent has to be 100. You have 70. 70 plus what gives you 100? Well, we'll take 100 minus 70, and that's 30%. Okay. My diagram that I'm going to expect for you to draw is a little different than what is being shown here. Same idea. So let's take a look. Notice that my diagram that I've started here at the bottom is an oval shape instead of the rectangular part. And it's cut into two parts. Now we'll read the problem and then we'll do the diagram. Ewan was a smart shopper. He got a great kilt for $433.65. It was 30% off the original price. What was the original price? Right off the start here, original price should give us an indication that our of value, when we set up our P times of equals is, we'll be looking for the original amount, the original cost. I'll come back to that in a minute. I want to look at this diagram. Every diagram that we draw is going to be 100% of itself to begin with. I don't know the total. That's what we're looking for. What was the original price? What I have here is I have the value $30%. So I'm going to say that this is 30%, this one, and that is the amount that's off or discounted. So 30% is the discounted amount. That's how much they took off the price, off of the original price. So the percent that would go in the other part has to be the difference. 100 minus 30 is 70%. 70% is what is the sell price. That's what they ended up paying. That's the sell price. All right, now let's look at this value, this money value. He actually bought the kilt for that much. We know that he got it for 30% off, but this $433.65 is what he actually paid. It's not the amount off. So this value and the 30%, they do not match up. 30% is the number off. 433 is what he actually paid. So that 433 goes with the sell price. That's what goes in with the sell amount. We're going to now use the information, and let me change colors here. We're going to use the information here. We have both parts. We have the 70% and we have the value. We can use that here. We know that 70% is actual cost, and that this number that matches up with it has to come from the same spot, the $433.65. That's the sell price. And we're going to use that to find our original price. The original price being the beginning number, the total, the starting number, first event time. So we solve that by dividing by 70%, which is 0.7 as a decimal. And use your calculator on that. 433 divided by 65. Sorry, $433.65 divided by 7/10 equals $619.50 using a calculator. That's the original. That's what the cost was to start off with. That matches up with our 100% then. So we're only missing the discounted amount. The discounted amount will be the total cost minus what it actually costs. That's what it would have been discounted by. So we subtract these two. And again, I'm going to do this on calculator. So 619.5 minus 4, 33.65. That equals $185.85 off. This one is actually more complicated probably than the next one, mainly because you haven't seen it before and this is the first time, so don't freak out if you don't totally get this yet. I'm going to do another one. 40% of all the Icons in Hanover attended the reunion. If 160 Icons attended, how many Icons are in Hanover? Draw a diagram to help solve the problem. All right, so what we are given, we're given 40% attended the reunion. So that's going to be in my smaller part. And I'm going to write in here attended. So I'm guessing that means that 60% did not. And then the total, as always at the top, is 100%. And that would be the total number of Icons in Hanover. What we're given with number value, though, is 160 Icons attended. So that has to go in the attended spot across from the 40%. 160 Icons attended. That's all the information we're given. But from that now, we have two pieces of information, these two parts, that we can use for our P, 40%. Let me clean that up just a second. 40% times the of. We're trying to find how many Icons are in Hanover. That's the total. And besides that, you know that this 160 has to be opposite your 40%. Okay. Then we divide by 40%, which is 4/10. So what number is 160 divided by 4/10? And that's 400. So there's 400 total Icons in Hanover. If there's 400 total Icons in Hanover and 160 attended, we can find the number that did not attend by subtracting those two. So 400 minus 160, 240. This diagram can really be helpful to determine where to put things, especially if you'll label the items like we did attended, did not attend, to set up the equation then that we had here. Because once you have two of these pieces of data filled in on either the top or the bottom, you can plug that, use that information into your equation to help solve it. Okay. That's all I have on this. I want you to give these a try. I will review this with you again on Wednesday before we grade. So these problems from this lesson I will do with you, but I want you to try them yourself, and then I will we'll go over them. You'll get them down, and you'll get to see them a little bit more. Okay. Your assignment is problem set 68, 1 through 30. Test Wednesday. So I guess what I should have said is I'll go over this with you before we grade on Thursday, because this is going to be due Thursday since we have a test Wednesday. Okay, due Thursday. Problem set 68, 1 through 30. Let me correct that. Not going to let you get away with that. 1 through 30. All right? So get to work on that and be good. Have a good day.
Dad, I see on number 32.